Hey, what's up? Welcome. I'm going to be talking about the new Samsung event that just happened today and everything you need to know about it, starting with the S21, then the Galaxy Buds Pro, and then the smart things and the Google stuff and all the other things that they announced, and then also my thoughts and impressions on it. So yeah, let's go. Okay, so the first set of phones that we got is the S21 and the S21 Plus. These are the general specs if you just want to know. But basically, we got this new design that's centered around the camera and that like flows into the frame of the body. I think it's okay. I didn't like it at first, but I'm not gonna lie, it's growing on me. It's not that bad. For the cameras, which is the main thing that has changed this year for the phones, we got three lenses. One is a ultra wide, a wide, and a telephoto. All of them are 12 megapixels except for the telephoto, which is a 64 megapixel one and it has 3x optical zoom. The front camera is also a 10 megapixel camera. Basically, what they're saying that has changed in the cameras this year is the AI, the software part, more so than the hardware part. Basically, they're saying this has better AI and better enhancements to the photo. So when you take it, the processing is better for a better result. There is also better HDR or dynamic range this year for the cameras. So the lightest parts of the image and the darkest parts of the image, you can see more of them clearly in the same photo together. It's pretty cool. That's always a big improvement for cameras. There is also better portrait, so because of the new AI enhancements, they can detect your edge, like the edge of yourself, and then distinguish it from the background better. So that will give you better blur between the background and yourself for the portrait photos. And there's also different modes like black and white and stuff, stuff that you see on the iPhone as well. For the portrait, it's okay. I don't really use it that much, but it's alright. Now, one thing that they addressed that I think would be a game changer if it is what I think it is that Snapchat and Instagram will support the AI enhancements of the S21. So historically, as you know, Androids have had really bad support for cameras in the social media apps because there's so many different Androids, and for each Android phone to be optimized is really tough for the developer. But if Snapchat and Instagram have optimized the camera well, then this will be amazing because that's why people use iPhones for social media. It's because theirs is optimized. So for this to be optimized, if it is optimized, then that would be sick. That would be like really amazing. They also added 8K support for video and also this new mode called Director's View, which like shows you all the different camera angles as you're recording in video, and then you can pick which angle you want, like a director. It's okay. I mean, I'm not really gonna be using it because I'm not gonna have the phone, but it's fine. It's cool. All of the camera changes that have happened for the S21 and the S20 Plus is pretty good. It's mostly software and some hardware, but really what will make a difference, like each year these phones get different camera software and it just gets better for every single phone that comes out. But what makes the difference is the software and how they process the image. For Samsung, sometimes they could be hit or miss, but most of the times it's actually pretty good. So we'll just have to wait and see how the software handles it and if it's actually really, really good. But it'll be fine anyways. Like, it'll be still a really solid camera, but the question is, can it be better than like a Google Pixel? We'll just have to wait and see. Okay, there's also a new display. It has a variable refresh rate this time. It is 120 hertz, but it also changes from 48 hertz to 120 hertz. So like if the screen isn't moving, then it drops the refresh rate down, and if you move it, then it becomes smooth again. It's supposed to save battery, but we'll have to see when the phone comes out. It seems cool in theory though. I mean, Samsung displays every year have always been the best, if not the best. Like even Apple supplies it from Samsung, so they're gonna be good displays regardless. But one thing that has changed this year is that the displays for the S21 and the S21 Plus are only full HD, so 1080p. A lot of people don't like that change because for years Samsung have had quad HD displays, 1440p displays, but personally I have the S10e and I don't really notice it that much. From the S7 Edge, when I had that, it did have the 1440p display, and when I compare these two, you can tell a difference, but only when you're holding it like super close, like this much. So in reality, like if you hold it far away like this much, how you're supposed to hold it really, it won't really make a difference. So Full HD or Quad HD for phone sizes that are like 6.2 inches or 6.7, it doesn't really make that big of a difference to me. The S21 has a 4000 milliamp hour battery, and the S21 Plus has a 4800 milliamp hour battery. This paired with the display technology that varies the refresh rate, I think the battery would be pretty solid. And it's another year for smartphones, so the chip has to get faster. Every year, all smartphone chips get faster anyways. So this year we have a 5nm chip, which is supposed to be 20% better for the CPU, 35% better for the GPU apparently. But like real world, like all smartphones nowadays are pretty much the same in terms of speed, the high-end smartphones anyways. So take it for what it is, like it's another improvement, another year. This time Samsung did include, for security purposes, there's a chip on board that deals with security. It's called the Samsung Knox Vault. It's cool, like they're actually making efforts to make the phone more secure, because iPhone is doubling down on that advertising as well, like how it's so secure. So it's cool to see Samsung doing something for that too. And for the S21, it has better gaming performance because Samsung has partnered with Unity, so the games will run cooler, use less battery, and it'll just be better. A lot of games are supported right away, so that's actually pretty cool for somebody who does game on my Samsung. So the S21 and the S21 Plus are gonna start at $799 USD and $999 USD. So $799 is lower than it was last year, but for Canada that's still $1,000, and spending $1,000 on a phone that has no micro SD card expansion, so it only has 128 and 256 and then not even 512 for the S21 and S21 Plus for gigabytes for storage, like that, and full HD and no micro SD expansion, and it's a plastic back, it doesn't seem right. But all those things don't really matter anymore anyways, because micro SD, people aren't keeping them nowadays, the manufacturers aren't keeping them nowadays. Full HD and Quad HD, to me, it doesn't really make a difference. Plastic back is kind of the one that is kind of a bummer, you know, because if you're paying $1,000 for a phone, you might as well get glass because it feels better. But most people, including myself, put a case on it, so it doesn't really make that much of a difference, and it's better with drop resistance. So there are many pros to that, but for $1,000, like compared to last year, you are missing out on a lot of stuff that doesn't make that much of a difference. Actually, when you're using the phone, you're still getting an amazing display, Samsung quality, you know, Samsung experience when it comes to their software and stuff, and you're getting a really solid phone. So the micro SD, and there's no chargers or headphones in the box this year, so like you're kind of missing out on a lot. So paying $1,000 for that doesn't really sit well, but luckily Samsung phones do go on sale a lot, so like yeah, you can just get it then. Okay, now on to the S21 Ultra, another phone. Okay, this one has 4 lenses for the camera, ultra wide, wide, and 2 telephotos with 3x and 10x optical zoom. The ultra wide is a 12 megapixel, then you got your wide, which is a 108 megapixel, and then the 2 telephotos are 10 megapixels each. The front camera is a 40 megapixel camera as well. See, the thing is, with 108 megapixel cameras, the more megapixel is like the more detail that you would have in the image. But when it comes to low light, since the pixels itself is smaller, it has less light input, like, so it's worse in low light. But Samsung has this technology with this new pixel tech that combines 9 of the pixels into 1, so theoretically it should be better in low light, much better than if it was without it. Another big thing for the camera for the S21 Ultra is 12-bit raw photos. that's actually pretty cool. That's a lot of information for a photo from a smartphone. It's really cool, but it is from a smartphone, so I don't know really how useful that would be. It's cool to see mobile technology going further. And of course, there is 4K 60 FPS support for the S21 Ultra video camera. It's the same thing with the S21 and S21 Plus that I think for the cameras. It really comes down to how the software actually takes the image and processes it. We'll just have to see how that looks. I'm sure it will be solid camera regardless. There is now S Pen support for the S21 Ultra. It doesn't come in the box though, or like with the phone like the Note does, but it's like a thing you have to buy separately and then you can hook it up with a case or something. So it is very optional, but it might be a start to something more. Like they might replace the Note series. So this phone does have Quad HD, so 1440p display, compared to the only full HD on the S21s. Like I said, it doesn't really make a difference for me personally, but it is cool to have it because this phone is expensive. $1,200 USD, so even more expensive for Canada. But I mean, it is a good display. It does have that 10 to 120 hertz variable refresh rate, so that will save you battery. But I mean, it's an expensive phone. It does have a 5000 milliamp hour battery though, so that's pretty cool. This is like their high-end version of the S21s that has everything that you would possibly want in the phone except for a micro SD card slot. I don't know why they removed it, but it is what it is. So my thoughts on the S21 Ultra is that it's a good phone. It's a solid phone. It has all the features that you would want except one micro SD card slot. But apart from that, it's expensive, but it has what you would really want in a phone. At least what I would want in a phone. It's a little bit big for me, and the camera bump does look a little ugly with all those lenses in it. But it's a solid phone. What can I say? It has a nice build quality to it. The phone does have a 6.8-inch display, so it's only a little bit bigger than the S21 Plus, but it does have all the other camera features and all that stuff with it. Okay, moving on to the Galaxy Buds Pro. This is their new Samsung headphones that came out. This is the price because I didn't write it down. Basically, this has better sound quality. It has what they're calling system and package, so like it adds a tweeter of a speaker and a sub of a speaker, like the woofer that has the high end and the low end sounds, and they're putting it all into this one unit into the headphone. That's what they're saying. I mean, it's another speaker. It has better sound quality. Of course it should. It's another one. I mean, I don't know. You'll have to listen to it to really find out if that makes a difference or not. But yeah. The Buds Pro also has active noise cancellation, something that the other Buds did not have. But the other Buds did have a good like sound isolation for your ear, passive isolation, and it was actually really good from my experience because I have the Galaxy Buds, the original one. So active noise cancellation should be pretty good to hide all of the different sounds in your environment. They also said that the Buds Pro has less wind interference because of this grill technology that they added for your calls, so they won't notice wind as much. But again, you're gonna have to test that out to really know how it sounds in person. That's the thing with speakers. You can't really go off reviews because sound quality, like generally, is actually really good for all these expensive speakers and stuff like that. But based on your taste and how it fits for your ear, you're gonna have to like feel it for yourself. So the Buds Pro can also do something that the Apple headphones can do now. It like basically detects your head movement. So say for example in a movie you're watching and there's a guy playing an instrument right here, and if you move your head, the instrument will stay right where it is. You know what I mean? Like you will hear it right in this space, right in that general area. But if you didn't have that, then as you move it, it will move just like that. You know what I mean? So it uses some technology that senses your movement, and it really makes you feel that that device or that instrument is right there in this specific area. Again, you're gonna have to see how that sounds for yourself, because I don't even know. So yeah, I mean, they should be really good headphones because the Galaxy Buds that I have were really good. And yeah, and since everything is much better, and you got that less wind interference and the active noise cancellation, and the drivers are better, it should be really good headphones, you know? Okay, but moving on to the smart things announcements that they made. So basically now you have better car support. Smart Things, which is Samsung's app that has all the like home automation and stuff like that controls, that has better integration now for Android Auto. So if you have a car that supports that, you can just see on your screen Smart Things is there, and it's like better integrated into it, and like you can press all your little home devices and stuff like that before you get home. That's what they're saying. I don't have a car or anything, so you're just gonna have to, I mean, yeah. Basically what Apple did, now Samsung is doing with the digital key. So for BMW, Ford, Audi, and Genesis, you can have a digital key on your smartphone that will unlock your car, and like you share that key to somebody else if you want them to unlock your car, or if they're borrowing it. I don't really like this idea of having your phone and your car integrated together, because it is technology after all, and I don't really trust it for having your actual car key in your phone, which can be hacked easily. I mean, not easily, but I don't really trust it, you know. They also talked about Samsung's and Google's partnership. So now Duo, like FaceTime, and Messages, like iMessage, it will be integrated more with the Samsung S21. So Messages will be native. So now, like the default one that comes with Samsung's phones, it will be replaced, and they're going to be adding Google Messages to it. I don't really care because I don't really use it that much. But if you really use SMS a lot, then it might make a difference because the design aesthetic is different. But really, they offer the same feature set, so it really shouldn't make any difference. So Google also announced that RCS is finished rollout. So basically, that's something that will replace SMS. So it's like iMessage, so you can use it with Wi-Fi or you can use it with your service, and it will work just like that. But I don't really use my messages that much. I'm mostly on social media apps, so it doesn't really make a difference to me that much. So yeah. There's also a specific talkback for Galaxies from Google. So basically, it's a call screening app that comes with the phone. If somebody is calling that you don't know who it is, or it's kind of fishy, you can send it to talkback, so it will screen and it will and talk to the person for you. That's actually pretty cool. That's useful. I might do that for the scam calls. So yeah. And another thing that they announced was the Smart Tag and Smart Tag Plus. It's like Tile, so like you place it on the stuff that you want to keep track of. They gave an example of your luggage, so you can put it on that, and if it goes missing, then you can use either the Bluetooth or the ultra wide bandwidth technology of the Plus version that has it, and you can it'll track you to it or like make a sound. And that's actually pretty cool, but it's kind of expensive for what it is, so I'm not gonna be getting that. But if you have money, that's pretty cool. Okay, that is pretty much the Samsung event. I tried to get through it as quick as possible because there was a lot of stuff to get through. Basically, I like the S21 and the S21 Plus and the Ultra as a whole, as a series. They're solid phones, but it all depends really for me for the price, because for $1,000 it does not make sense for me to buy it. But if it goes down in price, then yeah, they're really solid phones regardless. Like, it's from Samsung, it's what you would expect. The Buds Pro also look really nice. The tiles and everything is good. The Google integration for Samsung is always an amazing benefit. And the one thing that I really liked is that Snapchat and Instagram is going to be getting better support for the camera. Hopefully, I hope that's what's happening, and it's not just some filters or AI stuff, you know, because if it does get better support, then that's like a huge win for just Android in general. But yeah, that's all for now. Thanks for watching. Subscribe. Peace. I'm out.